Good morning, Fernando. Good afternoon, Andre.
Shalom, good afternoon, Eti, good afternoon, André.
Good morning. How do you do?
I'm fine, and how do you do?
It's a fine day here, beautiful day. How it is today in Brazil?
It's cloudy day around here. We have a cloudy day, a lot of clouds in the sky, very gray day. But it's a good weather, and it's just fine. I am very happy to be here.
Good, good. We are also very happy, and I hope that soon more people will join us. But meanwhile, Fernando, do you have questions or thoughts that you would like to share?
Yes, Eti, first of all, thank you for clarifying the the idea on the Zohar, the book of the, this morning, because I was reading that passage, that stunning passage, very beautiful, about the why the world is sustained by the breath, and and in the version that I have of the Zohar is only in English, so I do not have the Hebrew. So the breath could be ruach
Mhm.
or other things, but I'm really glad that you clarified that it's Hevel.
I can open a search engine now in the Zohar since you're mentioning. I will open now a search engine and I will tell you if it in which part of the Zohar it appears. Do you have the specification?
Yes, but for me, I already
You have it.
yes, I'm really satisfied, because I can find it here. Let's see. But about the Hevel, if you could say about this idea, for me, it's pretty enough, because it's amazing what the idea that is the Hevel. Because Hevel means also nothing, right?
Yes, it means
Also
nothing,
still.
nothing and little and things that we don't even calculate. Hevel is also the mist, the ed, the 1, 2, 4, and it's also on the hidden. I mean, it's a reference of the hidden things. Another perspective is that Hevel, the value of Hevel is 37. And like it, I think it's Ecclesiastic says that everything is vain, but everything is basically Hevel. So we have 7 kinds of mists, and 7 double 37 is 259, plus the one who speaks or binds everything with 260, like 10 times the tetragrammaton. This is the mathematical aspect of it. Did I run too fast to the mathematics?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. I was trying to take notes here.
Because there are many
Let's
aspects.
see.
We can speak about it metaphorically or like poetically, but there's also mathematical aspect to it. Because now do you take notes? Do you have everything that you can write? So here, the value of Hevel is 37. Now we have, in a way, every human face, sorry, I moved the microphone. Every human face has 7 openings. Is it right? Like the
Yes,
menorah, yes? The human
yes,
face is the expression of the menorah that used to be in the temple that has 7 lanes of light or 7 spaces or mists. We have 2 openings of the eyes. There are mists or like steam or like moistures that we have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and 1 mouth. So we have in general 7 openings. Is that right? Right. So the
Yes.
speech, and now we come to this. We have 7 openings, and the mouth sits in the middle of the face. We have only one mouth, unlike 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, and 2 ears. We have only one mouth. So our mouth is unifying the 7 openings. And if we take the next mathematical steps, 7 double 37, we come up with 259. Is that right?
Yes.
Plus, yes,
259.
plus the source, we come up at 260. 260 is 10 times the tetragrammaton. Or if we opposite the numbers, is 620. 620 is the value of crown, the infinite. This is why the world exists on the mist that comes from the young ones, or the babies, or the innocent, because it comes from the infinite.
Amazing, Eti. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. I just would like to bring the verse that you could see how everything is weaved into the Bible. Good afternoon, Charles. Your microphone is open. 1 second, I will Google the verse. 1 second. It is, where is it? Ecclesiastic. Ecclesiastic 1 2. Hevel Havalim, Amar Kohelet. Hevel Havalim, Hakol Havel. Do we have a concept board open? Because I would like to.
Yes, I
You have it open?
to put it. Yes, I am writing on the concept
So
board.
can,
Could you
yes,
repeat
I will repeat
to
slowly.
me to take
Yes.
in the
1
Ecclesiastes?
2 1 2, chapter 1, verse 2.
Okay,
Yes?
I, I got it.
Okay. So what do we see here in the verse? Hevel Havalim. Hevel is one mist. Yes? You can write under Hevel in Hebrew one mist. I wish I could see the concept board that you're writing, because I could be aligned with you on the same. Where are we? Our you at YouTube. So let me get in 1 second. Fernando, I will be with you. Where am I? I'm not in the right place. 1 second. Andra needs to come here. Okay. Hevel Havalim. Hevel is one mist. Please write one under Hevel. And Havalim. Very good. Can you write now the Ecclesiastes? Okay. Do I have a pen too? Thank you. Hevel Havalim. So we can write together now, Fernando. I see the board. We are on it together. Let me have a color. Let me be 13. I take 13 measure. Yes, Hevel. Hevel. This is mist. Mist. Also the name of Abel. It has 2 meanings. Also, this is the Ed, or 1 to 4. It has many, many variants. Hevel is one mist. Havalim, we already see the multiplicity. So Havalim are 2. Amar, Kohelet, said Ecclesiastes. This is basically King Solomon. Hevel Havalim, Amar Kohelet. Hevel, again, Hevel mist, 1. Havalim, 2 mist. Hevel Havalim, 1 and 2, make it 3. Amar Kohelet, says Ecclesiastic. Hevel Havalim, again, 3. Hakol Havel, everything, so to speak, is vain, but not everything is mystery. Hakol Havel. So, what do we have? How many kinds of mists do we have in this verse? So it's
7?
7. You see, there is a
Okay.
picture of
Yes.
the menorah. It came in, even to be in writing now, it comes to me. On one side of the menorah, we have 3 lanes of light. On the left side of the menorah, there's a 3 lanes of light. And in the middle, shamash, the connector, the speech. Is that right? This is the
Yes.
speech, our speech. So each hevel, now let's go to the mathematics. Each hevel has what? 37. How 37? Lamed is 30 grammaton. But also if we opposite the numbers, 620, this is the value of crown, keter, or the infinite. Infinite here. Yes, and Jill, good morning. Good morning, Jill. Good afternoon, Charles. I hope you can hear us.
Good morning, everyone.
How do you do, Jill?
I'm doing awesome. How are you all doing?
Fine. Fernando, do you hear Jill?
Yes. Good morning,
Bom
Jill.
dia.
Bom dia.
So we were explaining or giving a mathematical expression to a question that Fernando asked this morning following the Zohar reading that he had. So I explained a bit in lyrics on Slack, and now we went into the mathematical application of the verse. So maybe you can see it on YouTube if you have a laptop open, so you can see the sketches that we did.
Okay, yeah, I have my laptop open and watching it.
Thank you. We were saying that every human face has 7 openings, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and 1 mouth. And in general, we have 7 openings, like the menorah that used to be in the temple. The menorah is not just an external object, it's a reflection of the human face, how the human, or not face, but the inner aspect of us humans as spirit are illuminating the world. And in regarding to this image, we were reading one verse from Ecclesiastes 1:2. What usually people are translating as everything is vain, it's the opposite. Everything is mystery. And we have 7 mysteries because we are one mystery. What we perceive by the eyes, each to a different scent or smell, and each and every one of us speak. So everything is mystery. What comes through every individual human being as eyesight, listening, smell, sense, and speech is a mystery. Why does this person get this input from the world? Like visualization. Why does this person see a person who rides bicycle and another one sees a person who is like um, rise into an airplane? Why certain people smell flowers and other ones they smell lavender? Why does one person listens to classical music and another one to rap? And each and every one of us is speaking sometimes different language. It's a mystery. Everything is mystery. Yes, and Fernando, what?
I think that the world stands upon the tzaddik, upon the righteous one.
Why?
Please,
Yes,
please.
why do the sages, maybe you can write because I would like to concentrate in a concept. Why does the world stand on 36 righteous men? Where does it come from? The complete picture of completion is a full circle. Full circle has 360 degrees. So when we divide this 360 to 10, 10 is the portion of sphere of the tree of life, is a full portion. So 360 divide into 10, we have 36. From this kind of mathematical thinking, we have the sentence or the story or the lore that the world is sitting or existing on 36 righteous people. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes. Now, we can see that in terms of, in how do you say, attention, 36 righteous men. Also, 36 is the value of Ohel. Ohel is a tent, is hidden. So the world is sitting on 36 people that, how do you say, establishing the world or maintaining or sustaining the world with a secret. Yes. Is that clear? Because 36 is the value of the word ohel, tent, also. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Now, 36 is very close to 37. So it's true that the world is sitting on 36. Lamed Vav, Lamed Vav Tzadikim Nistarim. It's true, righteous, hidden people. But you see also mathematically, it's very close. The mist is 37. Heaven is 37. And what does it mean that the world is standing on the mists or the breasts of the young ones who are learning the Torah? Because they don't know. And the young ones is not just like babies, really physically babies, who are, let's say, 3 months, 4 months old. Is every person who reads the Torah, the fact that he even opens a book or a text of the Torah or of the Bible, the fact that he even opens to read, it means he knows nothing. It doesn't matter what age he is or what education he has in the back of his mind. Every person who opens the Torah, since the Torah is a spirit. So once we open the Torah, we don't know, we're innocent. And we start to read, and then our eyes are reading, and there's like a conceivement of impressions. And this is what makes the world stand. Not what we know, we knew, or we read in the first grade a while ago. But at the moment, because we come innocent, we don't know. We open, let's say, randomly the book or the Bible or the Torah. We open what is written there? Because every moment it's a living spring of life. We cannot say about the Torah, I know what is written in the Torah. Maybe there's a notion of a vague story. Sarah and Abraham were married. But a part of it, whenever we open the Bible, we don't know. We're innocent. And from this innocence, or how do you say, how do you say, Virgo, you know, how do you say, like virgin reading of the Bible, um, or the Torah, the worlds, the inner worlds inside are getting like revived. And it's like we are creating new life. And on this, everything is standing. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Because why such a concept exists? Why not what we are knowing exists the world? Because what we know, so to speak, is the we were speaking about this as regarding to the patriarch, is the institutional. This is the old world, the old of Pharaoh, the king. But what maintaining the life is like the first spirit, like the Shekhinah, the Holy Spirit is among the cherubim, like those young babies. It's not just physically young babies, but the innocence. I don't know. Let's see what happens. We don't know. Also, in this manner, Moses was named the Prince of Egypt, not the king, but Prince. Fernando, you remember that you were mentioning the Greek mythology that Kronos is eating his children? In
Yes.
this regard, can you share this concept in relation to Pharaoh and Moses? Can you please bring it together?
I don't know to disappear, let's say, to be eaten by the own time.
Yes, yes. And contrary to this concept, we have this that the world is existing on the mist, um, on the heaven of which is coming from the fresh ones who are learning the Torah or the Bible. This is opposite. This is basically an Exodus. This is the description of the Exodus. Also, there's a beautiful lore that says that why it's not just a lore. The Bible says that the mother of Moses had to hid him 3 months. Why? The Midrash Rabbah says, one of the teachings called Midrash Rabbah says that the Egyptians were very keen on documentation. They wrote everything and they had lists. And they knew specifically when this woman supposed to give birth and why did they have such accurate, how do you say, lists? Because they had a plan to put the baby boys into the water. So if they have a notion when this baby boy will be born, they can, or any baby will be born, they come to the house, they see if it's a boy, they put him into the water. So they have very accurate lists. So they could forecast immediately when there's a birth is going to happen, and they're on it, so to speak, to keep Pharaoh's command. But this is how mystery works. Yocheved, the mother of Moses, gave birth to him 3 months before time. So they could not follow because in their lists, suppose Moses supposed to be delivered in June or in excuse me, Sivan, when the Torah, future Torah, the 3rd month. So according to the Egyptian lists, this baby is supposed to be born at the 3rd month, Sivan or June, but he was born 90 days before time. 90 days before, like the value of Melech, Fernando, Melech, king, has the value of 90 as well. And he was born 90 days before. And they could not, in this way, they could not track this baby's life. Kevin,
Good morning.
the microphone is open.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Good morning. How do you do?
A little sore today, but doing okay.
Good, good. We were just mentioning that the birth of Moses, according to the Egyptians, had very accurate lists. when babies will be born, that they could, how do you say, take into action or operate Pharaoh's command to put the boys into the water. So they had very accurate tests to
Oh,
operate the command.
interesting.
Yes, and something happened. By the way, people who wants to always to be alive, you change few details that the papers will not catch. We say the the angel of death is in the paper. This is, but he was born 3 months before. Moses was born 3 months before time.
Mm,
This is it. This is it.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Eti, what does it
Yes.
mean this not putting on paper uh, everything
Yes.
on the baby? What does it mean? If you could say.
What does it mean not to put on a paper? It's like the teaching that you brought from the Zohar, the mist. If we put something on paper, letters and numbers, this is clear. Yes. But if we keep it on conversation or in the mist, it disappears into the infinite and creates new life, because everything that we put on paper is how do you say, is, in a way, it's there, it's proof to the eye. Yes, it has to do also with the relation of eye. Whatever we put on the paper, the eye can see, but things we don't put on paper, it is open to the mystery or to the listening. There is an opposite relation between seeing and listening. Yes.
Yes.
So not to put everything on paper, not to put everything, not everything to put on paper. And because just a few 2 years or 3 years, 2 years ago, we got a card of a baby who was born with the parents. They sent a picture, and all the information was on the card: the height, the weight, and everything. And this is what I also used to work in a Milky Drop. Once I used to work in a Milky Drop, just to share a moment. And in the Milky Drop, this is a service for babies, like a little clinic that check the baby's development. And this is what the office or the clinic do. They check the if they hear, if they see, if they scroll. And also there's also a lot of paperwork, because they had to measure the skull, measure the height, measure all kinds of things. So there's a lot of graphs and database. And they try to follow and to see if the baby development is fitting the chart that the administration has, and they can track if something is not according to the graph. Maybe the child needs to have a special care also. But not everything is on paper, and not everything is database. Many things are coming as mystery. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? People think that if they have it on paper, they have it, they know. The baby, let's say here in Europe and in Israel, they weigh the babies on kilos and grams. Yes. So they think if the baby is 3 kilos and 500 grams, it's a good baby. If it's 2 kilos and how do you say, and 300 grams, it's a smaller baby. But since we come to this conversation, I have to tell you a miracle, because miracle happens. I used to work in Haifa University once, and there was I received another secretary because there was a lot of work. And she told me in her first day at work that she was born. Please pay attention to the details. It doesn't have, or maybe now it's more common, but a few years it was not that common. She told me at her first day at work that her mother gave birth to her as a pre-time, before time. And she was born as 600 grams. I don't know in American measures, North American measures, how they measure weight. But in Brazil, how do you weight measure, Fernando? In kilos or in other,
Yes,
in
in
kilos?
kilograms. Yes.
Kilograms and grams.
That's 1.3
So this,
pounds.
yes, it's little for a baby.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It is very little. So 600 grams is like 3 oranges, something like that. Small oranges, I would say, or 3 apples. And she told me she was born 600 grams, and they put her immediately in the incubator. And her mother did not want to take care of her. Her mother was afraid. Listen, this is happening very, very often, and this is the truth. Her mother was afraid that she will not survive the incubator. So the mother, and now I have this shivering because I heard this from the child, and she was a student when we met, and she told me the story. The mother was afraid that she will lose the child. So the mother, after the birth, went home, and this is it. But the grandmother came every day to the hospital and sat with the baby, with the incubator a few months, every day. And she grew to her size. And when I met her, she was dating a guy, and a few years later, she was a mother of 2 beautiful children. But the mother and the father did not believe that she will survive. So they stayed home after she was incubating in hospital. But the grandmother, who had a great belief in life, sat with her day by day by day by day. And she grew to be a beautiful person, loving, caring, and very intelligent person, very, very intelligent. And this is the story that she told me about her life the first day she came to work with me in the university. This is a story also about belief, and not what everything is written on paper, it's truth.
Eti,
Yes.
thank you for sharing this story.
Mm.
And it makes me remember one quote from Ravi Nachman of Breslov,
Mm-hmm.
that he used to say that every Yom Kippur he asks to the higher to forget all the Torah, to start
Yes.
new, to start in the next year as a baby, as a fresh new start,
Mm-hmm.
to see things with pure heart and not knowing everything and judging.
Yes. Yes. That's true. It's very good to start fresh. To start innocent, like a virgin. You don't know. See something very interesting about the relation between virgin, the aspect of virgin in us and grace. Grace is always virgin. What does it mean? Why grace is always virgin? Why is that so?
Grace is tehina, or not?
Grace
Yes.
is chesed, chesed, the quality of chesed, grace. Why grace, the quality of grace, chesed, is always associated with virgin? Why is that so? Because if a person wants to do grace, he doesn't look back and says, this person once told me you're a weirdo.
Ah,
You know,
wonderful.
you see,
Wow.
this is the quality of virgin in us. It's not something external like people think in the tribes
Beautiful.
and call all those. Yes. What is the virgin in us? I don't make an accounting. He told me, she did to me, they forgot me. No, this is to start fresh. Virgo,
Wow. Thank you for this.
welcome.
Hmm. Oh, wow.
This is why the Bible says, and people translate the Bible as a law, a book of law, why a priest, Kohen, cannot marry a divorced woman or a widow. But people take it literally. You see where the fraud is, where the mistake is. Why Kohen or a priest cannot marry a divorced or a widow woman? He can only marry a Virgo. This is a how do you say, the law of the tribe. What does it mean innerly? Who is the priest
Hmm.
or the Kohen inside of
Hmm.
us? The one who wants to influence. And if we want to influence, we only come with what? With grace. Not with accounting, not with used elements of ourselves from yesterday and old aspects of ourselves from the day before. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
E.T.,
Hmm.
may I ask you something?
Yes, yes.
Yesterday I was reading this passage of the book on the book of Zohar,
Hmm.
and in this passage the sages are talking about the sixth day,
Hmm.
and in the sixth day we have that expression, very good, tov meod, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
And one of the sages say, tov mavet, the
yes.
death is good. When I read that yesterday, I thought, what he is talking about here? But it seems to me that to start fresh, we need
Yes, yes,
to
yes.
face death.
To
If you could
to
say something about this.
yes, yes, yes. Sometimes, whenever we drop another image of ourselves, yes, because how we perceive ourselves, yes. So if we drop what we perceive about ourselves, about our persona, about who we are, it is considered to us that we are dying. Yes, like once Kevin was giving this example. Kevin, do you remember?
Yes,
Yes. Do you understand the
I do.
concept?
Yes.
Yes, and Fernando, do you remember when Kevin was speaking about it? Whenever we are
Yes.
losing another a layer of ourselves, of who do we think that we are, it is considered to us to die. So it's very good to die because it is very good to lose the shell perspective of ourselves, and why it is written in the sixth day, specifically in the sixth day, because once we are this is happening, we lose this concept of ourselves. We can come to the seventh day, the day of the soul, the Manoah aspect in us. In a way, it's good that the horses in us are dying. This aspect of the sixth tic-tac is ending, and now this is the time of the soul to shine. Is it clear? Because why is it good to it is good that the time is dying. Do you understand, Fernando? Time is also marked by the number 6 because we have 60 minutes per hour and 60 seconds in a minute, the 6. And it's good that the time is being removed, space and time, and then comes the soul and shines. Do you understand?
Yes, and it's interesting that it's connected with very good. it's not only good, you know.
Uh,
It's the only day when we face this expression. Very good, tof meod.
yes, because the veil of time is being removed in the sixth day, and we see the how do you say, the rise of the soul,
Eternal life.
like the veil of yes, yes, yes. Even Weinreb, Fernando calls this a moment between 6 to 7, is he calls it the people who survived the 6 days, the sixth day. Why does he use this phrase, the people who survive the 6 days? Because most of the people are being what, lost in time. Most of the humanity is losing itself in the time.
And
So
this
those who survive, yes, Kevin.
this connects with what we were discussing earlier about the babies being thrown into the Nile. The Nile representing
Yes,
time, and the
excellent.
babies, the boys, are the influence, the you know the ego.
The soul. The baby boys are the soul,
Mm.
and this is why Pharaoh wants to drown them in the denial. To put the boys into the water, it means to deny the existing of the soul, of the fire, of the divine fire, the divine logos.
Mm.
This is why Weinreb says those who survive the sixth day, they will approach the seventh day. This is also what Teresa of Avila also warns not to get lost. She warns her sisters, the nuns, she called them sisters and daughters, and she warns them not to get lost in time.
Eti,
Yes.
one more question. I know that today I brought a lot of
No,
questions.
it's good, it's good.
We also, if we look at Genesis 1, the only day that we have an article in front of the day is the sixth day. It's Yom HaShishi.
Hmm.
The others days we have only Yom Ehat, Yom Sheni, Yom Shilishi. But in the sixth day we have Yom HaShishi. We have the letter Hey in front of the day. What does it mean? You know, if
Yes, it's a beautiful question because Yom Hashishi, if we take the Yod only from Yom and Hashishi, the Hey, we get Ya. Ya, meaning Yod is for wisdom, Hey is for understanding. And those two words are opening the Kiddush, Yom Hashishi, Yom Hashishi, and then we move to chapter 2, Vayacholu Hashamayim. So we have tetragrammaton, Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. This is why Yom Hashishi, to imply that everything is conceived from a thought. And we have 6 day, 6 day because there's a hidden thought behind it. Did I mention, to answer your question, why does the Bible says Yom HaShishi? Does the Bible say Yom HaShishi with Hey, Fernando?
yes, we finished the chapter 1 with this Yom HaShishi that we have Yod K, Yod Hey,
Mm-hmm. Yod Hey,
and we
and then
start
we,
the chapter 2 with Vav Hey. That
yes,
is,
and then we have the 4 letters of the Tetragrammaton, one after the other, because what we have now as a distribution of chapters of the Bible, this is only late edition. Chapter 1, chapter 2, once the Torah is just a collection of letters. A monk in the beginning of the Middle Ages divided the Torah, and so this is a later. But imagine that we could read the Torah without a distribution of chapters. We would have this 4 letters or 4 words, one after the other. Yom Hashishi vayachulu hashamayim, and then we have the Tetragrammaton in one go. Yes,
Yes.
thank you. There is a question now on YouTube. How does one get lost in time? Who would like to answer this question?
Not remembering the eternity, forgetting the origin, maybe.
Mhm. Yes, very good. How can we get lost in time? Not remembering, not giving too much attention to the soul, to the stories, to
Can
the
I say?
fact. Yes, of course.
I think one example would be even from a perspective of religion, when you take um, faith or religion and you turn it into counting and measuring and constant like legalism, where um, it's it has to be completely calculated, where it loses the essence of the desire of love, and it's very mechanicalized, and you know, it's not coming from the desire of the spirit, it's coming from promotion or profession. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Because not everything can be calculated and put in charts. This is it. The soul is always hidden. The mystery is always there. So sometimes when people get lost in time, sometimes they caught in the visualization of things, of image of things, and there are things and realities beyond plastic images and
The
calculation. Or
self-promotion.
yes, yes, this is a great deceit. Yes, there's sad eyes here. The comment, they understood. Yes. Questions? Jill, Fernando, Kevin?
I have a question. So, like that how you get lost in time, but what happens to those who do get lost in time?
They lose connection to the unity. Sometimes they get sad, sometimes they get depression, sometimes they go really, really, really far, and you cannot communicate to them anymore because you don't remember. The If they get lost in time, it has many, many faces. But the common nominators to all of these appearances of losing is time, that you cannot communicate to them anymore because they're in their box. They caught somewhere along the way, and they think this is it. I remember Carl Jung uh, warns from this deeply, not to get stuck. He calls it to get stuck or to lose in time. but it is basically the same. Um, I mean, the antidote is to listen to a dream or to read literature or to look at art, and not everything has to have a consequence, because we are educated always to be productive and faster, and and to cut, more pruning, and there's no connection to the origin anymore. So maybe I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Questions, Fernando, Charles, Kevin?
Yes.
Yes.
Um, the place of judgment in time, in Ecclesiastes, he says there's a time for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I think it's interesting, uh, in time, where counting and measuring is about judging, measuring, and um, there's these two worlds, these two aspects of reality, that we're referring to at the moment. Um, where there's the tree of life, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Um, you know, I think what's interesting is, I know in the Western world is, a lot of um, judgment, fear of the wrath of God and the punishment of God is preached in a lot of the Western world, and it's used um, a lot, you know, and I would imagine many of those in the Western mindset would appreciate uh, some insight in that aspect of understanding of judgment and eternity. Um, you know, because many believe that they're going to this eternal place of hell, and
Okay. Yes, I
yeah,
understand. There is a verse about it. I'll bring it. It's opposite to what people think, because it's a bit childish to think about. I'll bring it. Take a second. This is from Genesis 14:7. Genesis, I'll bring the verse. Genesis 14. Are you on YouTube, on Slack? Where can I put the link? Or both, maybe. Genesis 14:7. Please pay attention to Genesis 14:7. The numbers themselves, they speak. Here, I put it here on YouTube, Genesis 14:7. I put it also on Slack under class. Who would like to read Genesis 14:7?
I can read
Mm-hmm.
the English. Genesis 14:7, and they turned back and came to In Mishpat, the same in Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazan Tamar.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Fernando, can you please read the Hebrew? Genesis 14:7.
I'm not. If Charles could read it,
Yes,
because
yeah, because you're writing, you're writing.
yes,
Yeah. Yes, thank you. 1 second. Charles, your microphone is open. If 1 second. Your microphone is open, so you can speak. It says your microphone is open. Can you hear us, Charles?
Yes, I can hear you.
Do you have Genesis 14:7 open?
Yeah, I can just open it.
Yes.
Genesis 14,
14,
7.
14:7 in Hebrew, yes?
14:7.
Yes. Do you have it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Number 7. Vayashuvu. Do you see the first word? Vayashuvu.
Yes, Vayashuvu, Vayavo, El Ein Mishpat, Hu Kadesh, Vayaku et Kol Side Ha Amaleki, Vegam et Ha Emori, Ha Yoshev Bechatzitzon Tamar, Vayetze Melech Sdom, Umelech Amora, Umelech Adma, Umelech Tzivoyim, Umelech Bela, Hu Tzoar, Vaya Arechu, Itam Milchama, Be'emek Ha-Sidim.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's focus on about 4 words in verse 7. En hamishpat hi kadesh. Do you have the whiteboard open? En hamishpat hi kadesh. The Ein ze ein hamishpat, the eye of judging. Mishpat is a judgment or sentence. So the center of the judgment or the center of sentence is Kadesh. The Bible says who with Vav, but there is a description of Chirik, he. So En HaMishpat is both he and she. The eye of the judgment is both he and she. What? Kadesh is holy. The center of judgment, or the eye that judges or look through the whole universe, all us human beings, animals and plants and so, is what is holy. En hamishpat hi kadesh. The eye, that sentence or judge, is what is holy. How something holy can be hell. Do you understand how people misunderstand the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
The center of everything is Kadesh. Kadesh or Kadosh is holy. So the center of everything is holy. This is how things are standing in terms of life and structure Everything is standing on holiness and love. Love is holy.
Yes.
So you can bring them a quote from Genesis 14, verse 7, and say the center of everything is holy, and love is holy, and the center of everything is love.
Thank you.
Welcome. Questions?
It's interesting what Kevin said in your answer, because this is the common sense people use to think that they are being, suffering severe judgments, or things are getting wrong because of the higher, or something like this. But in fact, maybe it's just we will to be in control, because we do not know what is good or bad. We have a very narrow perspective usually, and but this is very common. What Kevin said always get my attention. That is the common sense, let's say.
I I think what we misunderstand, and I know I have in the past, is in the Western mindset is the what's misrepresented is the fear of the Lord, and it's used in an opposite way than understanding what the fear of the Lord is. And it's there's this assumption that if you make people worried that they're going to be punished, it's going to help them change or see something that they've not seen, or get them to act in a way that they've not acted. And um, I think that this is something that at some time, is slowly being corrected.
Maybe there's a thank you, Kevin. Maybe there's a misinterpretation of this fear of the Lord. Maybe it can be perceived in a different way. Maybe the fear of the Lord is to see that we are not loving at the moment, and from this should give us a warning. What is to fear the Lord if everything is love? And at one moment, a person does not feel love. He feels, or he feels far. He doesn't feel love and unity sharing. So maybe what the, the scriptures mean, fear of the Lord, is to look inside. It's a call for us to see what is happening inside of us and to observe. It is not to fear from punishment, that somebody will punish us, but to reflect. It's a call for reflect. Maybe to tell us that at the moment I don't feel love. Okay. I feel something else. Okay. So look at this. Let's look at this. What do we feel now? Anxiety, rejection. This is a call for reflection. It's not a call for punishment and torture. It's a call for self-improvement.
A call to make the vessel,
Yes,
call
yes,
to build the vessel.
yes. We think that this is also the Western, not just, uh, there's a sense always be happy and everything is fine. No, life is not everything is happy. There are many, many moments in the day, many, many moments in our lives that are between things. And sometimes we are upset, and sometimes we are sad, sometimes people cry, sometimes there's remorse. There are many, many, and all of those things, like you said, Fernando, they are building our vessel for love. If a person can contain sadness and happiness and sorrows and redemption and angst and everything, if a person can contain all of those things inside of himself, so he can contain also the other who experience the same modes. And this is love, because love is everything. People think, yes, they're living like doves, yes, the couple, but living with people, being in relations with friends, and it contains the whole range of feelings and modes and colors and seasons. Everything is love. People think, like in the movie, people love each other only when they drink wine next to candle, a beautiful meal. But love is so many infinite other ways also. A bird that flies in the sky, it's not love. A bee on a flower, it's not love. A rainy day, it's not love. Only sitting on a beach with sunglasses is love.
Maybe would you um, maybe the explaining the concept of Amalek,
Hmm.
the quality of Amalek would help.
Yes, very good. Amalek, it has, if where's the board? Amalek, I move with a concept board a bit. Amalek is written with 4 letters. It has a few meanings. I take the abbreviation Amalek, what Bala Sulam says. Bala Sulam says, Al menat lekabel, Al menat lekabel, in order just to receive to oneself. This is Amalek. I just want to consume life into me, like to suck everything. This is one perspective of Amalek. I want to consume everything. I'm a black hole. What is Amalek? Black hole in us. This is the Amalekite perspective in us. Baby, if baby needs to drink milk and to diaper and to be talked to, this is what he needs to grow. But if we are still as adult being behaving like sucking everything without giving from ourselves to improve the life around us, so we are governed by Amalekites. And against this quality inside of us, the Zohar says we have 4 qualities that help us. Amram is the father of Moses, Ain, Amram. Mem is Moshe, Moses. Bring those qualities. Lamed, Levi, the one who escorts God. And Kehat, Kehat. It means not to have sharp angels, not to have conflict. Kehat is the one who makes everything round, not to go into conflict with people. So if we take those 4 qualities, Amram is a high people. When a person ascend from the moment, not at this moment, people go to the world. At this moment, they want attention from everyone. This is Amalekite. So to lift ourselves, Amram. And then Moses. There's a way out of this life. Not everything is here. locked in space and time, and to escort life like Levi, and to make it around, not everything to go with conflict. This is what the Zohar brings as a, how do you say, as a tactique. Thank you. Is that clear?
Thank you.
Also, Weinreb says about the Amalekite is that it contains the word amal. Amal is to work. If we think that life is only concerning work, amal is work and effort. Amal, those three letters are amal is effort or work. So if we think that life is all about working and providing and not to take it time out, not to, how do you say, not to integrate also the circle, the leisure, the time out, the reflection. So this is it. This is Amalekite. Only to go with the person project in front of his eyes. This is it. So friends, thank you for joining us for a beautiful conversation.
Thank you,
Thank you
Eti.
so much,
Thank you
Eti.
for
Thank you,
thank you
friends.
for opening this week. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for reading, participating, asking, listening, and sharing. And I wish all of us a beautiful, wonderful week ahead, and we can meet here tomorrow at the same time. Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom.
Hello.
Shalom, shalom,
Shalom. Shalom.
shalom.